Check, check, 1, 2. Welcome, guys. This is Steven Steele. You're listening to Steven Steele Live on a Saturday night. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. We got Poor Man Trade in the house. Trucking all day. Northwoods Peachtree. Hump Deezy. Legion of Boom. Larry Ramirez. Gustavo, of course. Hump Deezy. My mod, Jason Huffman, is here. Wildin' Out. Peachtree, welcome. All right. Guys, we got a fantastic show coming up for you tonight. Fantastic show. The one and only UPSHOD will be joining me in about 20-25 minutes here. He will be popping on. So, yeah, and it's a great day for this to happen because of how well the DOGE is doing today. If you guys know anything about UPSHOD, he is very enthusiastic about the DOGE, and he does a lot of great work out there. Welcome, Brandon. A few more folks filtering in here. And if you haven't hit that like button, please do so. It's the number one thing you can do to get this new channel up in those algorithms. Thank you very much, guys. Good to see you guys. I got a few stories to cover, a couple before our very special guest will be joining us. Dogecoin price prediction. Will Doge ever be valuable? Will Doge ever be valuable? This comes courtesy of Investing Cube. They go on to write, Crispus Naega writes this. The Dogecoin price is still in consolidation mode as investors ponder the next moves. Doge is trading at this point, when he wrote the article, just a little over 6 cents, right? Which is the same range it has been in the last few weeks. Market cap is stuck at 7.88 billion, while its ranking has continued to slip. Will Dogecoin ever be valuable? This guy goes on to write. This is quite common among investors. Quite a common question among investors. For one, the currency was started as a joke and is now worth more than almost 8 billion. In other words, the bigger companies like Box, Stitch Fix, and Jack in the Box, or it is bigger than those companies. Yet on-chain metrics show that few people use the currency for any transactions. Well, no kidding. He says, therefore, in my view, this could be a calm before the storm. In the near term, the price could have a major breakout in either direction. So watch out for key support and resistance levels. This author means well. I think what he misses, like many of these folks that write about Doge, they're not factoring in what's incoming and what we know is incoming. Coinbase is incoming and in the immediate future, right? Not to mention, Elon Musk said he planned on literally putting a Dogecoin, a physical Dogecoin, on the moon. Of course, Robinhood is going to be freeing up wallets. I think they're going to follow through with that. So there's just a lot. There's a lot in the works, and there's a lot in the works in the immediate future. So, and these are things we know are going to happen. These are just things we know are going to happen. And I believe that once these things start going into motion, and I personally am of the opinion that Elon does have long-term plans for Doge with Tesla integration. And I think once all these things start lining up, I think that's when the real big-time investors start all jumping in. And then all the apes jump in. And I think it's just a matter of time. True Crypto, welcome. Mama Crypto, welcome. IR, welcome. D-Man, welcome. Coinbase just dropped 1 inch also today. Yes. Now let me go to the next story, guys. Akon. Do you guys remember Akon? He was he was on the charts probably about, I don't know, I'd say 8 to 10 years ago. He was on all over the charts doing, kind of real pop friendly, kind of, I guess I would describe it as dancehall crossover rap. Akon wants to run a city and wants to run a Senegal city on cryptocurrency. Plans announced by Senegalese American singer Akon last August to build Akon City. Couldn't see that coming. A futuristic hub in his ancestral homeland, where initially greeted with enthusiasm, but that quickly gave way to confusion. What was an A-coin? You gotta hand it to him. That's a pretty good name for a cryptocurrency coming from Akon, an A-coin. Why was it appearing on billboards, postcards, and candy wrappers across the country? He envisioned as a sustainable smart city, Akon City has been pitched as residential and commercial hub, complete with resorts, towering condos, recording studios, a stadium, and e-commerce franchises. The city will run on solar and wind energy and circumvent the country's unreliable power supply. Wow. Well, this is certainly very ambitious, and I got to hand it to him. So Akon is trying to build a city of the future, a futuristic city that runs on a new cryptocurrency that will be called Acoin. That's pretty great. Well, what's up, Colby? That's pretty great, guys. I might invest in some Acoin. Just no big expectations for it, but it's just a funny thing. I feel like I should be a part of. Throw $50, $100 at Acoin. See what happens. See if Akon can build the Senegalese city of the future. Truckin' All Day says Akon helped bring electricity to many people in Africa. Yes, that's true. This is true. If anyone could build a futuristic city, it sounds like he's got a pretty good board of planners and people that are pretty experienced in structuring these sorts of things out. I mean, why not? I fully support this. I really wish him the best on this. Who knows? Maybe it could be a futuristic, Afro-futuristic tourist destination. How many of you are going to invest in Acoin? I'll throw $50 at Acoin. Why not? Why not? All right, next story, guys. Next story. Check this one out, guys. Ethereum could go to 10K in 2021 and outperform Bitcoin, says veteran trader. According to professional trader Scott Melker, Ethereum's tremendous upside potential could overshadow Bitcoin this year. Ethereum is likely to outperform Bitcoin, at least in the short term, says veteran trader Scott Melker, in an exclusive interview with Cointelegraph. Melker sees this period of Bitcoin price consolidation as particularly bullish for the second largest crypto community, our cryptocurrency that recently reached its all-time highs. Melker sees Ether's outstanding performance as the main catalyst of the recent altcoin bull run. He also revealed he has been largely switching his dollar cost average strategy from Bit to Ether the last few months. According to Melker, Ethereum could reach 10K price target within the end of the year. What do you guys think about that? I think it's entirely possible. I think it's entirely possible. I do agree that ETH, it will outperform Bitcoin in the short run. $10K by the end of the year seems very ambitious, but then again, considering how much movement has happened in just the last few weeks, with no signs or very few signs of slowing down, I wouldn't count it out. I wouldn't count out ETH going 10K by the end of the year, guys. I wouldn't count out Ethereum going 10K by the end of the year. In which case, if you don't even own any ETH right now, you could still buy in at this high point of almost 2150 and still make out pretty nicely by 2022. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that's a decent probability. So if we look at Ethereum over the last week, it's up about 7%. Over the last month, it's up about 20%. And we're seeing pretty steady growth on almost every day with Ethereum. And with a coin as big as Ethereum, for it to jump 7% in 1 week is pretty major, guys. Pretty major. Guys, feel free to hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you want to super chat, you can do so just at the Stream Elements link pinned to the top of the chat. We'll crack and go public, I think, eventually. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but I think eventually. All right, let's go to the next story, guys. Next story. Next cryptocurrency to explode in 2021. This from Investor Place. 8 tokens to watch thanks to Coinbase IPO. The upcoming Coinbase IPO has investors clamoring to find the next big cryptocurrency. Here, let me just get to the meat of the article, because I know that's what everyone's wondering. So let me just cut through the fluff and the intro and tell you what 8 coins that they put down here. Here are 4 tokens that could be the next cryptocurrency to explode in 21. Inchcoin is the exchange token of 1 inch. The exchange claims fame is that it aggregates the exchange rates of coins of a variety of exchanges in order to offer optimal pricing. Engine coin. Of course, you guys know I've been pretty hyped on Engine for a while. I think it'll hit $5 by the end of the year. But I think it's going to, be honest with you, I don't think Engine Coin is going to be going up in any time in the near future. I think it's going to sit still for a bit now before it makes another run. Anyway, it says Engine is the coin app for the developer Engine. Investors can use ENJ to purchase in-game NFTs that can be sold to other users. NKN is a public blockchain that rewards users for utilizing unused bandwidth. Now, that's an interesting idea. That's an interesting application to me. NKN. I've heard of this coin, but I haven't done much research on it, to be honest. So NKN is a public blockchain that rewards users for utilizing unused bandwidth. It hopes to provide a network for decentralized peer-to-peer communication. NKN is currently up 26%. That's quite a leap. I'm going to consider NKN for the future. Origin token. Origin token is the token of peer-to-peer marketplace. Of peer-to-peer marketplace Origin used for staking and advertising OGN is currently down 11%, trading at $2.94. Holy smokes, a big super chat from my mod, big supporter, Ryan, no, not my mod, sorry, I mixed up with Jason Huffington. Another big supporter, Ryan McClymans, tipped $20. Thank you so much for that generous super chat, Ryan. I really appreciate that, man. Let's go, Steve. So proud of you. Love this group. Love the channel. Can't wait to see how far we will all come next year. Just got listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and really looking forward to my future with all of you. Can't wait for what's next. Ryan, thank you so much for that. And thank you for that positive message. Those are just the kind of positive vibes and mindset that I hope to foster on this channel and on this show. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you for that, man. Okay, so the other 4 coins that they talked about in here, Binance coin. I do see BNB continually going up overall because it is kind of one of the main conversion coins on emerging platforms like PancakeSwap. I think for that reason alone is enough to be at least somewhat optimistic about it. The next one is KuCoin. That's KU coin. And that coin's regarded as a safe way to passively grow wealth as it pays daily dividends. I'm not quite sure what that means. I mean, it sounds nice. It sounds nice. I just got to do more research on KuCoin. I've heard of it. I just got to look into it more. And then FTX token, and that's the, of course, the token from the FTX exchange. And it's been growing in popularity due to its association with Serum, guys. So so the abbreviation is FTT, and it's gained over 700% within the quarter, guys. Is it too late to jump on that train? It might be, guys. Just to be honest with you, if this thing's already gained over 750% in the quarter and you haven't already hopped on it, I'd proceed with caution. Could it be just the beginning for FTT? It's possible. But personally, I don't think I don't think I would feel comfortable buying in at that point. WRX is the last one on the list. Is the coin of WazirX, an India exchange. Now this one's really been going up too, and that's the satellite project of Binance, and it's one of the fastest growing DeFi exchanges. So as you know, DeFi is just been, the whole DeFi industry has just been exploding, and it's good to keep an eye. It's good to keep a close eye on the DeFi coins with DeFi exchange, obviously. So that's it for that one, guys. We're at about 10:51. We're about 7 or 8 minutes, I'd say, away from UPSHOD joining us. I'm really looking forward to having him on and talking with him. It's really cool of him to come on this small channel and talk with us for a bit. Elon tweeted just late last night. I took the night off last night from streaming. It simply says going to moon very soon. Okay. This is nothing we haven't known, so on the surface, you'd be like, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is, just last week, Elon also tweeted, literally going to put a Bitcoin, or literally going to put a Dogecoin on the moon. I'm kind of leaning that he's going to follow through with that. What do you guys think? I'm kind of leaning that Elon will actually follow through with that. I don't know if he would have said that if not. So now he's telling us he's going to the moon very soon. Well, what does that mean? That means very possibly a literal Dogecoin is going to the moon very soon. And what does that mean? That means probably more publicity than we've ever seen in one act before for Dogecoin. That's what that means. That's going to be worldwide, major worldwide coverage for Dogecoin. And well, what does that mean? Obviously, it means a heck of a lot of potential for a sharp increase in market value. Obviously. Gas station for the moon for SpaceX. All right, Northwoods. Jimmy Doe says my XLM and KNC flyers paying off quicker than I expected. Nice to see for a change. Yeah, XLM is really paying off now, and it's good to see. I have to be honest, I wasn't so sure about XLM for a while due to their ongoing legal troubles with the SEC. I'm obviously no fan of the SEC, but I was concerned that their legal embroilments with the SEC would be too great for them to overcome. So I considered that a more high-risk investment, too high risk for me, but I know many people that have been holding XLM for a while and been swearing by it. Well, you folks have been vindicated. You folks have been vindicated. So I am very happy for those of you who are reaping the benefits of staying steadfast and bullish on XLM, aka Ripple. Ripple. It reminds me of another word that rhymes with ripple. There was this ice cream Sunday ice cream, kind of like a Dairy Queen looking place, but it was an independent owner. We'd pass it every day when my mother used to give me a ride to school. And the building had a very interesting shape. The roof, it looked like a giant round half circle, let's just say. And then on top, in the middle of that circle, there was like a steeple. So, and the place was called Dairy Ripple. That's what the name of the business was. And of course, when you are a mischievous young boy and you see a roof of the Dairy Ripple that looks like a giant boob, the next evolution of thought, of course, is dairy nipple. And I could see my mother admonishing me for calling it that, while actually trying to hold back laughter because she even thought it was funny herself. What does that have to do with XLM? Nothing. What does it have to do with crypto? Nothing. So guys, I think UPSHOD might be ready. So I'm going to try to get him in the room here. If I might go through just a minute of trial and error with the audio, so just give it a moment, guys. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. UPSHOD, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Steven Steele.
Hey, I love it. Room, I'm just going to do a room check. Room, can you guys hear Mr. UPSHOD? You might want to mute your computer on your side. Do you have headphones, UPSHOD, you can put on?
I think I just kind of cleared my sound here. So
okay, I was just hearing reverberation. Yeah, yep. There's like a 30-second delay, so I'm just waiting for confirmation for the room that makes sure the room can hear you. Okay, if not, it'll just be a simple reconfiguration of my settings, I think, on Discord.
No, I'm good here.
Okay, everyone's saying we're loud and clear. We're good to go. Thank you so much for coming on my small new channel. UPSHOD. I really appreciate you taking the time, and you're obviously a super busy guy, and I absolutely love what you do. I know all my viewers love what you do, so I just really like to thank you for that.
No problem, Steve. Were you part of King Valhalla's thing that he had going on a couple months ago?
Yes, I was. I pretty much became the main co-host on that channel before it went defunct.
I remember hearing you on that. Whatever happened to King?
That's a question I get very often, UPSHOD. So what happened is, I didn't run that channel. I was always just getting patched through on a server to host that, and how that situation played out was kind of an accident. So what happened is YouTube removed that channel for, I think, copyright stuff, but I can't be sure. I was just, all I was going on was what I was hearing through King Valhalla. And then he went in a different direction, and I think he started a different channel. I think he's focused on work for a while and started a channel, but I decided it was just best I go in my own direction, and I'm happier when I'm more in control of the creative elements and stuff of it. And this way, I know exactly what's going on, and I know exactly how things should be handled, and so there's no confusion, etc. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's where you first crossed my radar screen was on that show, and King. I mean, the 3 a.m. pumps and for coins and things like that. I always thought that was a little crazy.
Yeah. It's one of those things where the whole thing was just. It was pretty chaotic, but it was also pretty exciting. And I think that's why we had so many viewers, too, because it was just this big, happy, weird accident. Because when that show launched, that channel launched coincidentally right when Dogecoin started going really parabolic, and it was,
right.
And there were so many, there's so much anticipation, excitement in there where people are like, is this thing going to go to $1 like next week? Or I mean, people just didn't know. People didn't know. You know what I mean? And there was just all sorts of speculation and excitement and things like that. So I think all that kind of stuff just coalesced, and then yeah, it was like people were in and out, and the way that channel and show was structured, it was just so wild style. Yeah. But he had like 10 or 12 TV screens in his studio, and it was just like, this guy is so into this. Yeah. The control room, from what I could see through that, was pretty wild. I mean, mine's setup is not nearly as glamorous. I'm on a MacBook and $100 microphone here, so that's how I'm rolling. Yeah. So yeah, that's where most people heard of me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then you popped up on Twitter a couple times, and then you logged into a couple of my streams and made some wise-ass comments that were actually kind of funny. So I was like, that's the guy. I know Steven Steele. I remember him.
Yeah, that's kind of my nature, though. But I hope you realize that it's all in good sport and good fun for my. Yeah. And anyone's familiar with my show, my stream, I'm very enthusiastic about Dogecoin, just like you. And my enthusiasm for Doge has not waned over the months whatsoever. And so speaking of which, UPSHOD, tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of how you found yourself in this space, and then how you found yourself becoming one of the leading voices really on YouTube concerning Dogecoin. I mean, how could you kind of break that down a little bit?
Well, I would like to say, or I'd like to think that it was all planned out, but you know how things are, especially in cryptocurrency. Nothing is planned out that well.
Yeah.
So last summer I was swing trading stocks.
Yes.
And it was just one of those things where, you watch the Bitcoin price, and it's like, and Bitcoin was like 8,000 or something during the summer.
Yeah.
And you're always kind of wondering, it's like, what's going to happen to Bitcoin? but I never bought any. And I was just like, I don't remember what I was doing. And then there was this TikTok thing on July 7th.
Yeah.
And with Dogecoin, and I was like, Dogecoin, I'd heard about that before somewhere, but I didn't remember where. And I watched the price, and I watched it go from like 0.0028 up to like 0.004 or something. And it was like, oh, this is a big time pump and dump, because I looked at the history of it, and it had pumped and dumped a number of times in 2017 and 18, and then back to its origins. And I was like, well, I'm not getting into this, because this is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially with all the way the TikTokers were pushing the thing.
Right.
So I just kept doing my stock thing. And then, of course, Bitcoin took off in the fall, along with all these other cryptos. And I was like, well, I got to get into some of this. And so that's when I started my Binance account, the Binance US account. So I got into Binance US before it took like forever to get verified and get trading. So I already had the Binance account. I'd bought a little Bitcoin. I bought a little Ethereum, but I was still doing the stocks. And then about December or so, I was like, I've been working at home since, well over a year now, but and kind of bored. And I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, because I was watching some of these other guys do, stock picks and sort of daily things. And I'm like, I can do that.
Sure.
And show, what I'm trading and what I'm doing. And so it was going to be this stock channel.
Right.
And my first videos were stocks. And I got the channel up and running in December. And I forget when my first video was, but it was around then. But then I had to reset my channel in early January. So I had to re-upload. You know how YouTube is. Sometimes these things are crazy. And I was doing these stock videos, which was cool. And then I remember there was a big dump, like early January, of Bitcoin, because it had been up, over 40,000, then it dropped below 30. And with it went like every other coin, including Dogecoin, which was up over a penny after the Elon thing in December.
Yes.
But then it dropped to like 0.07 something. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Right.
on Dogecoin again, but it came across my radar screen. And then it was, I think it was January 27th. It was back up over a penny, and I had just sold some stocks. I don't remember what it was, but the stock market was having a bad time, and I transferred money into Binance, and I had a bunch of money sitting there. It was luck more than anything else. Because January 28th was the day that Doge took off. So I got in at 0.02. I bought into Dogecoin. I was like, oh, this is going to happen now. And then, and that was it. And so I made a video. Like I just sold all my stocks, which was all my swing trading stocks that I had. And that video just took off. I was like, oh, because the stock video, I mean, there's so much stock stuff on YouTube.
Right.
To try and find a window of, to get exposure. It was really hard. Because there's a lot of competition for that scene and that space.
Right.
And then there was this response to this video about Dogecoin. I was like, well, okay. But then, Dogecoin went up to 8, and then, just slowly just kept going down, 7, 6, 5, 4. And I'm like, all right, this isn't looking good. And so I sold.
Oh, you did?
Because
okay.
before it went all the way down to a penny again, I sold.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
And then I made a video of selling my Dogecoin, and I got so many dislikes, and the comments were like, what the hell? And that's how it started. And then it was like, okay, so I bought back in, and it's been a ride since. So that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, That's awesome, man. And I think that's from what I've perceived about your style and your videos, I think that's why so many people tune into you. One of the reasons, anyway, why so many people tune into you, because you're so transparent about what you're doing and your victories and your mistakes, or what in hindsight appear to be, right? So I think that really builds a lot more trust with people, because there's obviously no shortage of crypto channels. The amount of crypto live streamers now is there's not a ton of those, but
No.
but you can tune into a variety of crypto channels and just get the straight meat, or what the person that's running the channel, what their favorite coins are, and they want to talk about. But so the show like yours, it's very distinctly different in terms of it's just a really warm, transparent, groovy vibe, and you just have a really nice pace about it, and you could tell that you're like, I like how, because this is something I strive for too on this show, where you almost try to, correct me if I'm wrong, but you almost strive to be as objective as possible, and you're not afraid to talk about both the pros and the cons of particular coins, even coins that you like, and that to me is more uncommon in this space. What are your thoughts?
Agreed, and that's who I am. And certainly the pumpers are going to get more views, and they're
Right.
going to get a wider following, because everyone wants to hear Dogecoin to the moon.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so there's a space for that, but that's not me, because I come from this stock trading experience. I was like, well, maybe I can take this charting that I was doing for stocks and apply it to crypto. So that's what I started doing, without realizing there were much better charters like Traders Reality. If you go look, you watch Tino on his show, and you're like, okay, this guy really knows what he's doing. I'm an amateur compared to him.
Yeah.
But I was having fun with it, and I was like, and I started doing this stuff, and a lot of people that were watching me, most of them relatively new to cryptocurrency, like a lot of people who invest in Dogecoin. Most of the audience was not into Dogecoin before January 28th.
Correct.
So you're dealing with not only a lot of people who are younger than us, but also that have no background in cryptocurrency. They just bought Dogecoin as it was, getting all the hype.
Right.
And once they start seeing what I'm talking about, and they're like, maybe I should find out a little more about this now that I've put money into it. So I got a lot of response, and then I got this nickname, the Doge Dad. And I was like, okay, I'll take
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
So it's the Doge Dad, and the Doge Father, and all these other nicknames. So I was like, okay, I can help the younger generation out here by trying to educate. So that's really what my channel has been about, is more about education, but also, talking about what I see. If I see a breakout coming, I'm gonna do a video about a breakout.
Right.
And I've only done 2 of those, and both times Dogecoin actually broke out. One of them that afternoon, and the other was like a day later.
Nice.
But I'm not going to be doing Dogecoin's going to break out, every other day, because I don't see it breaking out every other day.
Right.
Although I've been talking about this upward trend since April 3rd.
Yep.
And so for a week, Dogecoin has been in this upward trend, and I've talked about it on my stream, and I've made a video about it and showed on the charts what's happening as it's kind of doing its own thing outside of the Elon tweets. It is gaining this momentum and slowly rising, which is a much better way for Dogecoin to maintain a higher level than the pumps and dumps that have been happening before. So
Yes.
I educate about that. We talk about that, and we have the discussion about it. And I'm just glad to be part of this community too. I had Billy Marcus on my stream.
That was
month.
Yeah, and
I talking to Billy was great.
That was awesome. And I told everyone on my show, you got to check out this interview, because I thought the way it went, And for a long time, Billy was not doing interviews with anyone. He had no interest in talking to anyone. And that's cool that he's been coming out of his shell. And I thought the talk that you had with him was a really good, candid kind of view of how Billy is as a person. And he's exactly the kind of person you would hope he would be, right? That's how it came off to me anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So that being said, you know what? You remind me of like the one guy I would befriend at a very obnoxious party that I got stuck at. You remind me of like the one guy, like if I got dragged to this super obnoxious, stupid party, you would be like the guy chilling in the corner, just kind of watching stuff, and then I'd talk to you, and I'd be like, "Oh, I found the one cool guy at this crappy party." So, so yeah. Anyway, so UPSHOD, what do you make of the current pumps that are happening with DOGE without the assistance of Elon? What do you attribute this more organic growth to recently?
I would say, in all honesty, Dogecoin should already be at 9 or 10 cents.
I agree.
Based on everything about the coin, and I mean the volume of trading that it had in February was definitely insane compared to how it had been trading, in the fall of 2020 and throughout January, where there just really wasn't a lot of trading. Once that trading started, I mean, it's tailed off since then. You look at the volume on the charts, and from early February down to through March, the volume was really petering out. But it was maintaining at least some consistency from 3 cents to 4 cents to 5 cents, and it would drop back down into the upper fours. But it was not holding its own, climbing back up to those highs that it had back in February. And to get back up there, I think it's just a delayed. I think it's more of just a delayed reaction, I would say, because you see other coins that are exceeding their all-time highs right now. I mean, you see Litecoin, you see Ripple, you see others that are above that. Dogecoin should be above that now. Dogecoin should be at 9 cents now, above that 8.75 high. I think it's just delayed partially because of the meme thing, and a lot of investors don't take Dogecoin seriously. But that's one of the things I try to do on my channel, is take a serious approach to it as a real currency.
Yes.
That's what I say about Dogecoin, is as a use of currency, I see it as that is its utility, and that is its real world use as a real currency. And I think people are starting to get that.
Yeah, I think that's just starting to set in now with people outside of the Doge activist base, is what I refer to it as. But I think people are just, I think you're absolutely right. I think that concept is now just finally just starting to set in. So I would agree with you. I think it's just what you explained there would perfectly logically account for the delay in the market value. What do you think, UPSHOD, about Robinhood's seeming market manipulation a few months ago, and what role, if any, do you think that's played in diminishing the current market value of Dogecoin?
Overall, I don't think it's had as big of effect as some people say. I think it helped maybe stop some of the increase in value, there at the end of January and then into early February, because of the restrictions they put on it. But overall, Dogecoin is going to trade how it's going to trade, and it outside of Robinhood. Well, I mean, one of the things we now know, and what we all think, is that that largest wallet of 36 billion Dogecoin is the Robinhood crypto, wallet. And so once everyone realized that all your buying and selling on Robinhood has absolutely no effect on the broader market because there's no real buying and selling of coins happening. You're just trading off of a price as an investment, and not really, the coins aren't moving. And Robinhood even says that the ticker that they show on their app isn't the buying and the selling that's happening on the Robinhood platform. They're basically averaging from different exchanges, is what I understand how it works. Which is why it's so strange sometimes when it's so delayed in the price. Because the other day when it spiked up again, up to 6.6, and Robinhood was still showing 6.2 or 6.3 when the other exchanges were all at 6.6. It was like, well, that's because there's some, especially when the volume is really high and it's spiking, Robinhood just seems to be delayed.
So interesting. So you don't think this is, so you're basically, maybe contending is that there hasn't been malicious market value suppression on behalf of Robinhood?
No, because the overall Dogecoin price is on many exchanges. Binance has an exchange, and other platforms have their exchanges where it's bought and sold, and Robinhood doesn't control those. Robinhood is kind of in its own little bubble. There's a lot of users, obviously, of Dogecoin, within Robinhood, but I don't think that buying and selling on Robinhood has any effect on the market overall. And what I actually think is the market overall are more serious cryptocurrency investors that still think Dogecoin is a meme coin. So that's what I think has suppressed it, not Robinhood. That's my opinion.
Interesting. I guess I would depart with you a little bit on that, just because, and I am open to changing my mind on this, but because my primary platform of choice for coin trading is Voyager, and Voyager operates has the same kind of thing where it's not really as an exchange nearly as much it acts as a brokerage, right? Where it's an aggregator of accumulative market values to do the negotiating for the user to get the best deal, right? So,
right.
When I've never had those kind of market value discrepancies with Doge or anything else, and compared to so many other platforms, it only seems like I keep seeing these disparities with Doge, and it only seems to go in one way, lower rather than higher. So to me, that just seems rather suspect. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, sometimes it's higher, but whenever I've seen it higher, it's only been like fractions of a percentage higher. It's really during these spikes when it's considerably lower where you really see the difference. Generally, people are people buying or selling during these spikes. So I think if you look at Robinhood as a platform and people are swing trading on Robinhood, which a lot of people do, when it starts spiking and you want to sell, and you see on other apps and other exchanges that it's at 6.6 and Robinhood's still showing 6.2 or 6.3, and you want to sell, that's when it becomes an issue for the swing. That's the only time I think that disparity is sort of ugly hand.
Yes,
is in that case, and that's for the swing traders who are trying to sell.
Sure.
Who are keeping the price down anyway by selling while it's going up. That's what keeps the price down.
Right.
And so the whales do it too. We talk about some of the whales and how they're swing trading, and hundreds of millions of coins are being sold while the price is going up because of a Elon tweet or something. They see that as an opportunity to swing it, so they sell as it's going up, and then they buy again once it dumps back down. So that's what's happened. I don't think it's Robinhood, to be honest. Now, what Robinhood is doing and the way they're making profits off of crypto trading itself, that's a little suspect. And they got to fix that.
Agree.
I don't think that is the reason why Dogecoin price has been held down across all exchanges. I think it's more about the whales, the concentration that Elon talked about isn't a good thing for Dogecoin. And then this, what we talked about earlier about this, with more serious crypto investors still thinking that this is a meme coin.
Sure. You guys just tuning in. This is Stephen Steele. I am talking with the one and only UPSHOD. UPSHOD, just a fantastic guest. I'm just really pleased and honored to have him here tonight. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, it's a brand new channel. I just went live with it about 2 weeks ago, so I do stream pretty regularly now. So love to have you stick around, just starting to build out a cool little community here. If you feel compelled to super chat during this show, you can do so through the Stream Elements link pinned at the top of the chat. So UPSHOD, one last Robinhood question for you. I would like to get your thoughts on. So when Robinhood a couple months ago suddenly took away the ability when that rocket was seemingly almost seeing a straight up vertical line, and then suddenly Robinhood took away the ability for users to purchase. The buy button just became enabled for the rest of that evening, and then off and on throughout the next 2 days. What do you make of that?
Well, looking at the Reddit thread about the Robinhood wallets and trying to piece together some of the timelines and look at the numbers, I don't think they had enough coins in their wallet to cover all of the buying that was happening. It looks like the final 2 billion coins that they bought on February 4th was after the spike, if you line up the dates. And so I think they had to restrict the buying because they didn't have all the coins in place in their wallet to cover the trading on their platform. But they're not going to admit it, and I sort of just pieced it all together and was like, I think that's what was happening. Because
I think that I agree with that, and it's interesting because Vlad himself, right? Vlad, when he went on that interview with Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. He said it wasn't a liquidity issue, it wasn't a volume issue, but at the same time, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too with his explanation, where he's like, "No, there's no market manipulation going on, but at the same time, we aren't having any volume issues." And I'm like, "Well, it's got to be one of the two, man."
Yeah.
So I was like, this answer does not make sense because it's got to be one of the two. And if he was thinking a little bit more on his feet there, I think he would have been much better off just to publicly admit, like, yeah, we just had a volume issue. We just didn't anticipate this kind of parabolic rise out of nowhere, and we kind of got caught flat-footed, and we apologize. I think that would have went over so much better. But
I agree too, and for the past 2 months, Vlad has tried to do some PR work to kind of smooth things over. And I would love to have Vlad on my UPSHOD Live sometime so that he could defend what I'm about to say. But I really don't think he's a very good CEO. And I don't think for the size of platform that Robinhood is. And I mean, they're going to try and do this IPO coming up.
Right.
And he's just not in a good place to be running that company. He needs some serious people who have real banking experience that understand how the whole banking institution, works. Because he had this so-called fireside chat, the other week, and I played some highlights of that on one of my recent Robinhood videos. And that's just not a good look. And it's just not. And I mean, a lot of people love the Robinhood platform. It's easy to trade on. The confetti that comes out when you make a deposit, and the woo-hoos and yays when you buy or sell. I mean, that's all kind of fun, Robinhood has gotten some complaints about that because it's real money and it shouldn't all be like fun like that. But that's how the platform is, and a lot of new investors love it, and they're not gonna go anywhere else. So I think they know they have a real solid customer base. Now with all the Dogecoin fans, pounding on both Vlad's and the Robinhood, Twitter feeds about getting wallets. Vlad's listening, and obviously with his tweets and replies, he understands that Dogecoin is driving that crypto engine for Robinhood.
Right.
But he knows that's where they've been making their money. I don't think Robinhood makes a lot of money on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think they're making a ton of money on Dogecoin.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's interesting to see his overt Doge pandering over the last few weeks, and it's pretty clear. But I agree with you. I don't think he's a very good match for the platform. I think the things that he's botched, to a certain degree, I just don't think there's any coming back from, as far as the breaches in trust and between Robinhood and consumer. But they do have that very sexy, simple, very user-friendly interface, right? And that's why I usually try to get people over from Robinhood to something like Voyager, because Voyager, in my opinion, also has a pretty user-friendly interface for newer traders too.
And unfortunately, I'm on Binance US, and it just takes so long to get verified on there now. I mean, after the end of January, when a lot of people were trying to buy Dogecoin, and Binance.us was one of those where you could buy Dogecoin, and their backlog. I mean, they don't have a huge staff, on Binance US. They're not part of the bigger Binance.com. They're like a spinoff that could operate within the United States, and so didn't have a big staff, and just got overwhelmed by these new users trying to join, and they've never been able to really catch up. And but that's Binance US is what I use. They've got a great trading platform on their website. And they have an app too, but the app isn't a great trading platform because they don't really show you the bids and the asks for doing a real good limit order. It's really more just you plug in how many coins you want, and it's a market buy on the app. So the app, I think, needs a lot of work, but their platform on the website is really good, and that's what I use. Now, Poor Man Trading is asking about how long till Robinhood wallets, and Vlad has pretty much said that it's going to take some time, and so it's not going to be this month. It's probably not going to be next month. He said he's still hiring engineers. So if he's hiring engineers in April for a problem that he knew he had 2 months ago, he's already behind the 8 ball. I mean, he's behind in the game. He shouldn't be hiring engineers now. That should have already been done, and they should have already been working on it.
I agree. I've said that same thing verbatim on my stream multiple times. What is with this big hire? How come these that just shows how inept he has been as the CEO, that he didn't have even the foresight to have the most basic elements in place, like the manpower for engineers in place.
They were just making so much money the way it was.
Right.
Robinhood Crypto just making tons of money off the buying and selling of mostly Dogecoin on their app. Why would they want to change? So they're watching, all this profit.
Yes.
And the complaining was kind of noise to them, I think, at the time.
Yes.
Now it's elevated to a point where, and they've probably seen massive selling happening and people leaving the platform, and they're like, okay, now we got to fix this.
Yes. Right. It's now it's to the point it's just not even an option for them anymore. If they want to even have a shot at being around for the long term, they have to do these reforms, right? I mean,
I mean, the same thing happened with stocks because, I mean, people found out the order flows, going to Citadel Capital and these
yes,
others,
yes.
and how they were skimming money, and the money is coming from you and me and your audience and all the traders. We're the ones that are all paying, that skimming of the fractions of of pennies, but in such a high volume that it's both Citadel and Robinhood were just making a lot of money off that order flow, selling the order flow and then the buying and selling of the stocks. So
Yes.
that coupled with, GameStop and AMC and and the others, Robinhood had just horrible public relations going on.
It was almost just like watching a parody of itself, just how poorly they've botched the PR. Let me get to a couple super chats before we go on. Jimmy Doge, thank you for your super chat of $6.90. Thank you, Jimmy Doge. I know you're a regular viewer. Amazing show. Thanks to both of you for all that you do to spread good information in the crypto and Doge community. Concern Doge. Thank you for that, Jimmy Doge. Really appreciate that. And then another one just came in from user Decentralized, tipped $4.20. I get a lot of tips. I get a lot of tips in that amount on this show. $4.20. UPSHOD. Imagine that. Yeah. It seems to be one of the staple pastimes for a fair amount of my viewers for some reason, because it's just interesting. Decentralized says, UPSHOD, what a great guest. Question for y'all. Do you think Doge can break out of its consolidation organically? I feel like Doge is a very catalyst dependent, but seeing it grow organically these past few days is awesome. You care to maybe extrapolate on that a little more, UPSHOD?
Yeah, so last night on my stream, we were actually talking about the upward trend that Doge has been in since April 3rd. So April 1st had the big spike from the Elon tweet, right? Taking a literal Dogecoin to the literal moon. Great. And it was a pump and dump. But then after that dump, what I've been tracking on the charts is this gradual ascending channel that is in an upward trend. And so if you take a look at my streams are saved as videos. So if you go to the UPSHOD channel on YouTube and you look at that stream, I covered this in like the first 10 minutes of the stream and showed on the chart this channel that Dogecoin is in. And the channel is not consolidation. It's not going sideways. It's going up. And it has been continually going up, hitting higher lows as it's trading up and down. And we see even today, again, even higher. So this upward trend is continuing, and it's not consolidation. And it's also great to see that it's not based on any pumping from any celebrities. I think it's just the natural trading of Dogecoin and increased demand and buying that's happening with the coin.
Right. And I think it sounds like in your opinion too, that's the most encouraging thing about what we're seeing lately, right? I mean, that it's just this.
I've been talking about it for months, that the pump and dumps are not good for the coin.
Right.
And that it's better if Elon just shut up for a while. Let it do its thing.
Yeah, I said something similar a few nights ago. I'm sure some of the chat rep remembers that. I just said, because there was about, I don't know, a little, almost like a week and a half recently where there wasn't any Doge tweets from Elon. And I was like, this is not a bad thing to happen, because for as much as Elon wants to help Doge too, and for as fun as it is to see stuff like that, it kind of loses its power if you do it too much. You know what I mean? So I feel like I feel like almost less is more at this point for Elon Doge related tweets. What do you think?
Yeah, total agreement. But also the second part of that comment also has to do with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has been in a consolidation until today. So today, Bitcoin finally came back up over 60,000. And so I think part of Dogecoin's rise today even though it was a higher percentage than what Bitcoin did. When Bitcoin's rising, Dogecoin is generally rising. It was just good to see Dogecoin at a higher percentage today. Now it looks like Bitcoin is actually coming down a little bit, and Doge as well. And if you look at the charts, and we were also comparing this last night as well, how when Bitcoin dips, you can see Ethereum dip, you can see Litecoin dip, and generally Dogecoin and most of the other altcoins as well are all following Bitcoin. So here's Bitcoin is actually just about to come under 60,000 now. I'm looking on the chart. And so Dogecoin is testing 650, 6.5 probably. So if Bitcoin drops under 60,000, I think Dogecoin will be under 6.5 cents, because it just follows it. And so a lot of it is dependent on Bitcoin. But a month ago, we were comparing Bitcoin and Dogecoin as being pretty much the same. And they were, when Bitcoin was at 52,000 and Dogecoin was at 5.2 cents, give or take a little, they were kind of trading in tandem. But now, Dogecoin's at 6.5 cents.
Yes.
Bitcoin is not at 65,000, it's at 60,000. So Dogecoin has broken out of that sort of direct million-time multiplier that I had been talking about. And that's great to see. And I think that can continue getting wider as we go forward.
Yeah,
I don't want Dogecoin to wait to get to 10 cents, where Bitcoin did reach 100,000.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to move on to some other stuff. Anytime you have to go, I know it's late over there. Please let me know. But I definitely got other stuff I would love to talk to you about.
Sure.
Well, firstly, let me address the chat. Ryan says, I'm going to move everything to Voyager so I can get my interest rates. Thanks for Steve me showing that they have that. Well, to be clear, Ryan, I didn't say move everything to Voyager. I think what you mean, Ryan, is I did a video about how I moved a pretty good chunk of my savings account over to Voyager, and I just converted it to USD to collect between 9 and 9.5% interest. So I assume that's what you're talking about. So this topic's a little spicy. I'm sure you've noticed a bit of it going on in some of our circles. Just kind of wanted your thoughts on it. There seems to be a lot of contention right now, kind of going back and forth between people that are really bullish on SafeMoon, and then some sectors of Doge, and
I try and stay out of the drama, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, and I don't expect. Same here, and I don't expect to have like a super polarizing conversation about this, particularly with you. I just want to know if you had any thoughts on even just the observation of this thing, and I don't know, what are your general thoughts and feelings about this?
I think there's a large contingent of Dogecoin holders who, honestly believe that the SafeMoons and Elon Gates and Hojes and all those are pump and dump schemes for early developers to make a lot of money. Because it's been done before, and
yes,
you can see in the history of coins that
many
have been
times
set up in similar manners.
Yep.
From 2014 to 2018, and now here we are in 2021 with similar type setups that have questionable utility and use cases going forward. And so I can see that some Dogecoin loyalists, particularly if they're using names that are borrowed from Dogecoin terms, that there's some defense there, and some warnings as well, particularly to a lot of the new crypto investors. It's like, guys, be careful what you're putting your money into, because this has happened before.
Right.
So that's the first part of it. And then I think the second part of it is, Dogecoin was kind of, consolidating for a while, and then you see like a SafeMoon like taking off, and and gaining hundreds of percentages, in gain in value.
Sure.
And I mean, that's how those work, right? So there was that going on. And so, I mean, even on my, channel and on my Discord, there's a lot of people pumping SafeMoon, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not getting into that. But then I started looking at it and I'm like, well, maybe if I took a small percentage of my investment and I threw it at something like that, what would that look like? And I thought about it. And I went ahead and I did it. In hindsight, was that probably a good thing for someone in my position to do? Maybe not. But I think there was a lot of my UPSHOD family on Discord were talking a lot about it, and I was like, well, this is kind of interesting. It's one of these things where, if it did take off again, and the way they're burning coins, and it's going to be a limited supply, if I take a small percentage of my investment portfolio, really small percentage, and put it into this, and I'll just forget about it. And that's what I was going to do, was just forget about it. But it was so hard to buy it. I was trying. I think it's easier for international people to buy SafeMoon than it is in the United States.
Yes.
And I was trying to follow these different YouTube videos, and you get BNB, and then you have to swap it to the BP20
and then
protocol, which isn't supported in the United States. And so I couldn't even get that to work, and you had to go to Pancake Swap and all that. I was just like, this is crazy. And then someone said it was going to start trading on Whitebit, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll take a look at that. That'd make it so much easier to buy. And so it started trading on Whitebit.
Yeah.
And so I bought some, and I was like, well, I can make a video of this and just say, look, it's an easy way to buy SafeMoon, right? And so I did that. And it was that my video was actually shared a lot on the SafeMoon community, which I haven't really interacted with at all. I don't know any of them, haven't tweeted with any of them or talked to any of them. But I was like, great. I was just helping people out, particularly people that were subscribers of mine and followers of mine, either on YouTube or Discord, and saying, well, here's an easier way to buy into SafeMoon. And so that's what I did. And then, Matt comes out with his video, and I'm looking at the video, and I know you and Matt collaborate on some things. No,
go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm my own man. It's okay. You can go right ahead.
But from my point of view, I thought Matt's arguments were a little weak, and I was expecting from the title of his video for there to be a little more investigative work on something else that was going on other than than what he said. I didn't think it was a great argument, but it certainly hit a tone with both the Dogecoin community and the SafeMoon community.
Yes.
And I know Matt went on someone's show, and who was a SafeMoon supporter, and defended what he did, and I mean, that's what's great about YouTube, right? You can put out there whatever you want, and that's great. And right or wrong, it's a platform, you can do that. But in the end, this is cryptocurrency investing, right? If someone wants to go spend a couple $1,000s and buy 1 billion SafeMoon, they can do that, right? That's your choice,
right?
And why people are getting so defensive about this and having arguments and all that, I don't get that. That I don't get. It's investing. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think it does. I think everything you broke down though does explain a large chunk of it though. I do think, because I try to look at this as objectively as possible, and yeah, I do have a smaller side channel where there's like I do all the editing and graphics for kind of the most entertaining like highlight clips from both my channel and Matt's channel. And Matt asked me to come on board recently about that. And so, and the same thing happened, you guys, with how I ended up on the crypto show, where I was meant just to come on air there to talk about Dogecoin integration in retail spaces, and then he just hit it off. Maybe it has something to do with me having a little bit of a background in entertainment and voiceovers. I don't know, but then they asked me to go on there pretty much all the time, and then when Matt asked me to do this collaboration, it was just out of nowhere too, and then now a week after I start that channel with them, all this stuff happens with this video. So Matt's been nothing but awesome to me, but I agree with you on his video. Like, what I think this is where I think the big misunderstanding is here. And I have to be careful because I know I'd say maybe half of my viewers, if I had to guess, are pretty bullish on SafeMoon, and the other half are just either indifferent to SafeMoon or just don't care. So I think Matt had instincts that he was just very suspicious. He had very suspicious instincts about SafeMoon, and he just wanted to express that very quickly. And consequently, I don't think very strong arguments were made through the video. Now, he could have made I could think of several things that could have made a very much stronger arguments of being critical of SafeMoon, but those weren't made. So I think he had an instinct, and I don't think it was as malicious as maybe a lot of people in the SafeMoon community think it was. I just don't see that, but I totally understand why they're upset too at the same time. Like I get that. I empathize with that, just to be clear. But as I've covered SafeMoon on this show, I have put some money in SafeMoon, but I've gone over the pros and cons. I just say there's some pretty interesting potential here. I kind of invested in it because I just more as an experiment. I think it's an experiment. I want to see get played out and see how it goes. And I think
same here. Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, and I do have respect for how much passion and how much growth has been going into SafeMoon, and all that. Like, and as we know, in the crypto space, that can be worth a lot. Just the movement of it, utility aside. But I also have to be frank with people. I could be a lot more popular of a streamer if I just came on here and stuck my finger in the wind, it's like, oh, the SafeMoon thing's coming up. I'm just gonna hype everything up and infer that people are all gonna be SafeMoon millionaires in a year. I can't sleep at night doing that, you guys. I just can't. So, so I think it's got a lot of potential. Can SafeMoon be moonbound? Sure it can. And I don't want to get in the way of that. I hope SafeMoon does well, but at the same time, I got to be honest with my viewership and just say it definitely is way more volatile and more high risk than like a Doge. So just be careful. And also, what SafeMoon calls. Also, I'm concerned about the lack of utility with SafeMoon. But from what I've heard, the developers so far have a lot of concepts that they've floated out there for expanding its utility, but then again, we just haven't seen them yet, right? So putting concepts out there and ideas is one thing. I actually following through on them and seeing concrete utility is another matter. So I'm sure you'd probably agree with me, UPSHOD, that it's very hard for me to put a full-throated endorsement of a coin and kind of like talk about it as a good long-term investment when it doesn't have much utility. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure that out now because of all of the attention that it's getting. But the first things I've heard about NFTs and entertainment, and it's like, guys, you really need to figure this out because there's a lot of people that have invested in this and want to make a lot of money, but you're not coming through. So
right,
I don't know. We'll see. And I mean, there's so many of these other coins. You know, I'm doing the stream and I'm doing these videos, and I get these commenters, saying, look at this one and look at that one, and I start looking into some of these like OCANs and
and that's the thing.
And it's just like.
I know totally. I've tried expressing this to people on the show, and I really think my audience does get it, and I think most of my audience does understand that when I'm critical of SafeMoon, it's coming from a place where I'm trying to be transparent for you guys. Like I'm doing this for you guys. Like I have to be honest with myself. And if it sounds like I'm being too hard on SafeMoon, I don't mean that intention to be, because I do respect how much attention they've been able to drum up for themselves and this pretty significant movement within a small crypto circle, and the enthusiasm and the numbers they've been putting up as far as just the sheer numbers of investors. It's very impressive in a short amount of time. So is that enough to even override a lack of utility on a coin? I don't know. But I threw some money in it with not a ton of expectation, but I hope it does well. I mean, I wish it well, but just be careful, guys. Just be careful. Please just be careful.
Yep, and I say the same thing on my channel. And then just to finish up with Matt, because Final Stand is a great channel, great supporter of Dogecoin.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of enthusiasm. He's got a lot of followers.
Yeah,
he gets thousands of people tuning into his streams, and sometimes he comes on at like 5 a.m. because Elon tweeted. Maybe he has his alarm set to, when an Elon tweet comes, he's woken up or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of funny.
It is wild. I mean, Matt's sleep schedule has got to be. I mean, I have a weird sleep schedule. I'm an excessive night owl, obviously, with my hours of my show. But Matt's like next level. I don't know when the dude sleeps. I don't know when the dude sleeps, because he'll be he'll be like one of the first people commenting on Elon's Musk tweet, and I'll look at Elon's timeline the next day, and it'll be like under a tweet that was like 5:30 a.m. I'm like, what? You were just live streaming at 2 a.m. Like, just.
But Matt does a great job of getting the news out, of what's going on to the Dogecoin community. He's usually one of the first ones to be reporting on things. To be a little critical, I think he's got to do a little bit more research on some of these articles. The other day he had a video about Yahoo Finance says that Dogecoin is going to go to $10. Well, first of all, and this is from Matt. I mean, Matt and I, we message each other. We comment on each other's videos.
Yep,
and, he was on my stream last month, and this is more constructive criticism for Matt. But
sure.
First, Thomas Young was not a Yahoo author, because I had done a video on Monday about the same topic. That I thought, $10 was a crazy price prediction. And I explain about it. If you know anything about Yahoo Finance, which I know a lot about from my stock background, because I've got an account on Yahoo Finance, and Yahoo Finance doesn't write anything for themselves.
I was about to say that's more. Yahoo Finance is more of like an aggregator that takes articles.
And that's exactly what this was an Investor Place article. Thomas Young works for Investor Place.
Right.
And Investor Place, they're all about writing articles that will get them the most views.
100%.
That's what Investor Place is all about. And they do it with stocks, and they also do it with some cryptocurrency. And this guy wrote this article about Dogecoin in order to get views. And so for Matt to say it was a Yahoo Finance article, he's got to dig a little bit deeper there. And then I think Matt kind of glossed over some of the issues that he was raising about what it would actually take for Dogecoin to get to $10. Because he basically said that, someone needs to come in and create a foundation, a Dogecoin foundation, someone big with influence. And with that foundation, actually have a structure that would change Dogecoin so it wouldn't continue to grow at 5 billion new coins a year.
Yes.
That's essentially what they were saying. That's what it would take to get Dogecoin to $10.
Yes.
But Matt kind of missed that. And I just...
Well, I think I share your criticisms like almost identically. I think it's out of like a place where I mean, you understand how much work goes behind a channel. So when you see the level and frequency of output behind a channel like his, you know that he doesn't have time to do anything else. So I think a lot of it is from me getting to know him, I really think it's from a place where he's just so excited and eager. Like he genuinely is so excited about these topics that I think sometimes he gets ahead of himself, and needing to put the constant output of a few videos a day, or a video and a live stream a day, and everything like that. And so I think that's where that is. I mean, it's really amusing to me to listen to you talk, because, and I'm sure all my regular viewers would agree, like, listening to your takes they're so close to my takes. And I covered this $10 this Doge to $10 story, and how I always explain them, I said, now this is from Yahoo Finance, but it was borrowed from Bazinga or whatever, And then I said $10. I said, this seems frankly pretty absurd, but at the same time, it's technically possible, and this is how it's technically possible, right? So that's, yeah, it's interesting.
And some of your people in the chat here are right. Matt's trying to create content to get more views. Yes. I mean, that's what YouTube is. I mean, a lot of us are on YouTube, not because we're volunteering our time in order to spread the goodwill of Dogecoin, but the videos are monetized, and we get paid for our time through that monetization. That's how it works. And Matt puts a ton of time into these videos.
Right.
So for him to get paid for the time that he puts into those videos, I can't argue against that. And I do that myself. I mean, I don't get as many views as Matt does. I don't have as many subscribers as Matt does.
Right.
But it's not a competition. There are multiple channels that cover cryptocurrency, multiple channels that cover Dogecoin in particular in different manners. And yeah, some people watch, all of them, and some people are more particular to one channel than the other based on our styles. But at the end, we're one big community, and we're all in this for the good intention of the future of Dogecoin and cryptocurrency. So
right, yeah, this whole thing has just put me in a very precarious position, because I'm friends with Matt, and I do have a channel with him, but I think you and I illustrated in a very civil way how we think that video could have been better and where it maybe went wrong, and so you guys, and this is something I try to convey to my audience, where we can have civil disagreements about stuff, and we can talk stuff out without trying to just hate each other and bring each other down. We can talk this out. And love or hate Matt, he did that same night, he did go on live stream into a very hostile audience in a live stream. I saw part of it, along with a couple of the Safe Moon devs, and he was just talking it out with them, So I think that's a good thing. If people can just talk these things out and voice their concerns or whatever. But
yeah, so Staying Alpha, Jonathan on Staying Alpha. Do you know Jonathan? Have you watched Staying Alpha?
Yeah. He and I just started messaging a little bit ago, actually.
Yeah. So he invited me to actually, together invite some of the Safe Moon devs onto his show, where we would have this kind of discussion that we're having now.
Right.
That might not be as divisive or confrontational as what Matt kind of found himself in, and really talk about Safe Moon as a cryptocurrency.
Right.
And so the offer is out there, and if they accept, and we'll have a good conversation, I think, because I mean, we have a lot of followers, and we want to know, what these guys are thinking. So we'll see.
I think that's awesome, and I know I'm gonna have a front row seat to checking that out, and I think that's a great idea. Let me run something by you about this. Just the last thing I want to bring up on this this whole SafeMoon thing, SafeMoon Doge thing. I've seen this sentiment because I'm in the SafeMoon Discord because I am an investor and I do want what's best for the coin. I mean, I obviously wouldn't mind making some money off SafeMoon like everyone else. But I have noticed this sentiment, and I took a screenshot of it because I just thought it was kind of just wild, right? So I'm just going to read this to you. So I don't know if you heard, but the SafeMoon folks have been working on a pairing so people can specifically convert their Doge to SafeMoon, right?
SafeMoon.
And you know, they also say, well, you can transfer it back the other way too, but to me, it's obvious why they want to make this pairing, right? So people can convert their Doge to SafeMoon, primarily. So then I see, I've seen this comment like several times in the SafeMoon Discord, and it says, stop downvoting Doge posts. We're pairing with them so we can take their sweet investors. It's a win for us. Mooners won't go Doge during the pairing, so go through with it. And to me, I gotta just admit that I don't feel good when I read stuff like that.
It doesn't sound good.
No. And so when you see similar lingo used from SafeMoon, like you talked about, that is usually associated with Doge, and then I see stuff like this being written, these sentiments being expressed among SafeMooners. Now, to be clear, this didn't come from a developer. This didn't come from a CEO. This came from just someone who's very bullish about SafeMoon, but it's not an uncommon sentiment that I've been seeing. So what do you think about the pairing, first of all, and what I just read to you there?
I don't understand how the pairing would work in terms of the dividends, you know, and being able to get the rewards. Because, I mean, there's this sort of complicated effort you got to go through in order to get your SafeMoon in a wallet where you can actually receive the dividends. I mean, that's the whole part of SafeMoon, right? Is
well,
to burn and
UPSHOD, you don't understand. It's actually very simple. You make some pancakes, you put some batter in it, and you throw it up, and you make sure your margins are at least 12%, and you do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if they can make it so you can cut corners and just exchange your Dogecoin for SafeMoon and still get all those dividends, why don't they work on just getting your product so that it can be traded on more mainstream exchanges?
Sure.
That's where I think their effort should be, not this. It's not a good look, I don't think.
Yeah, so when I see stuff like that, I'm kind of empathetic. That makes me more empathetic to people that are more suspicious in the Doge camp when I see stuff like that. But I also understand at the same time how Matt's video rubbed a lot of SafeMooners wrong. Like, I get that. I get it. I tweeted something out when I bought my SafeMoon. Someone's referencing in the chat. I tweeted out, "Hey, I just bought my SafeMoon in just 100 easy steps." So okay, I think we covered that, and thank you for your thoughts on that.
What do your users want to hear us talk about? Because there's not a lot of chat going on about SafeMoon here. So what do you guys want to hear us talk about? They're
usually more chatty, but I honestly think everyone's just really dialed in and listening to us. Yeah, guys, go ahead if there's anything you would like. UPSHOD.
And what happened with Matt Kors? Did he get his channel back?
I hope so. That was ridiculous.
I saw the free Matt Kors thing, and I was like, so I looked into it because I've watched Matt before, and I was like, he lost his channel. It's like, I remember when Jerry Fermetto lost his channel because somebody was actually duplicating his streams and reposting them as sort of their own content, and then.
Oh, is that how he temporarily got deplatformed?
Yeah, that's what it was. And so YouTube was like, it's duplicated content, and so they took his channel down, and it took him a couple days to get it back. actually, in the long run, I think that was good for Jerry because he realized that he was like burning himself to death doing these 12, 14-hour streams. It was just crazy.
Yes, that kid had a lot of vigor. I was like, because when he first came into the scene, I was like, I just see this young guy on there with shades, and every time I tune in, he'd just be like, he was like the DOGE hype man. He's like the hype man. Oh, let's keep going, let's go. Blah, blah. So it sounded like an auctioneer for like 10 hours at a pop. I'm like, wow, man, like he can't keep, no person can keep that up forever.
Yeah, and I tuned into him just the other day, and he still talks about it. He's like, man, I was crazy doing that. Now he does like 1 hour streams, and he's like much more civil about it. And but yeah, he had his channel taken down. So I don't know what was going on with Matt. Now there was some conversation about maybe some of the things that he had said that someone might have taken offense to. I don't know, but I mean, I see worse stuff on YouTube than what Matt's doing. So
oh gosh,
I don't know. This is Matt Kors we're talking about. So I don't know. I haven't checked back to see whether he got his channel back, but that was a trending hashtag on Twitter for those in the crypto and in trading community was, well, what's going on with Matt Kors? But,
yeah. What? So someone in the chat is asking you, what are your top 3 cryptos?
Top 3. Good question. I would say Doge, VeChain, and probably longer term is Cardano. Those would be my top 3.
Solid, yeah. For me, I would say Doge. I just let me ponder this for a moment, because there's like in my mind there's like a few that are really close for a tie for second and third, but I would pick Doge. I would pick surprisingly, I know this surprises a lot of people, but I always put VGX in my top 3, and I'd probably put VeChain in there too. Yeah, so I'd put right now my favorites are Doge, VeChain, and VGX.
Jonathan's asking about the million times multiplier. We talked about this a little bit ago, but it looks like Doge is now increased percentage-wise over that and is breaking off of that million times multiplier, which is great to see for Doge. It's still following the trading, just about every other coin does. But every once in a while, I mean, today, Bitcoin was dropping and Dogecoin didn't. Dogecoin held its own and actually went up. So it's that kind of trading that I'm very excited about. And again, on my stream last night, and probably we'll be exploring it again, next Friday as well, is this upward trend that Dogecoin is in and continues to be in. So,
right.
That's good to see. Northwoods Peach, dig your room you live stream in. Yeah, it's my studio in my house. This is I have a bunch of stuff behind me that is just stuff from my past that's pretty cool. I just sort of threw it all up there when I started making videos. Sort of a background and having fun with it. You mine coins. So I tried mining, and I did this video about trying to mine without a real mining rig. And I got Unmineable to work, but I didn't get it going on the ET hash or ETC hash because I didn't have a great graphics card. It kept saying, basically, fail, you're no good. So then I did CPU mining, and I went for 3 solid days, and I got 0.8 Dogecoin for 3 days.
Oh gosh.
Unmineable. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't work.
Right. I know.
So that's my mining experience. And the guys on my Discord, we talk about mining. In fact, we have a separate mining channel. And so if people are interested in mining, invite you to UPSHOD Discord Lounge. And we've got a guy that is building a rig right now, and he's showing us his pictures as he's doing it, and he just got it running today. Very excited about it, and we talk a lot about mining, and so you learn a lot too about different graphics cards. He says he overpaid for the cards because they're hard to find now for good mining cards. Right now I'm not in a place where I want to be investing in a mining rig, but that may come, and I'll venture down that road of getting a nice mining rig. But yeah, we talk about it on our Discord. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, right on.
CPU mining, no, don't even try it. It's not worth it.
No, it's a waste of time. I mean, in my opinion, most mining is largely a waste of time, but particularly CPU mining. Yeah. What are your thoughts? I'm getting a little less optimistic now about BTT, the state of BTT. Where do you think the future of BTT is?
We talked about BTT last night, and it is on a downward trend, still down. And let's see where it is right now, because I've got my thing open here. 0.008, still in a downward trend. It's just, a lot of people know what BitTorrent is and what its past is, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people are just buying it because it's been going up. But BitTorrent, what BitTorrent was about, I mean, why they think they need their own coin, everybody wants a coin, I guess. But again, I don't see a great use case in the future for a BitTorrent coin. So I don't see a real future for it. I think a lot of people just got hyped on the trading because it went parabolic here, a little bit ago. But it's been on this downtrend now, and it's lost a lot of ground. And I think those that were probably all hyped as it went from April 1st, it was down at 0.005 and went all the way up to 0.013, so 1.3 cents. Now it's back down to 0.008. It's just I don't know. Maybe it'll get another hype and another burst, another run behind it, but I don't see a long-term real use case for BTT.
Interesting. I foresaw what was going to happen with BTT for its recent bull run, and I've been invested in BTT for a while now. It's been fairly profitable for me, but I got in really low. But that being said, I am unsure of I guess I've augmented my opinion within the last 24 hours of BTT, where I thought that its long-term trajectories looked fairly good, but then when I started analyzing this recent, there's make no mistake about it, it's a severe retracement. It really kind of gave me pause and has me second guessing that now. But yeah. TRX, which is also owned by the same CEO, seems to keep doing better and better. So I guess I'm just undecided on the future of BTT.
If I was gonna invest in Tron or BTT right now, I'd put my money in Tron. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's I think you're better off in an investment with Tron.
I think that's safe assumption at this point. So what do you think about the probability of Doge to $1? What do you say? Is it probable?
So absolutely probable. This year, probably not. My price target has been 40 cents. And that was a price target that I set back in February. And I stick with that. A lot of things have to happen to get Doge to that level. Having a hard time getting back to 8 cents right now. But much more bullish about Dogecoin, this past week than I have been, in March. And I think it's heading in the right trajectory. And yes, Again, cryptocurrency, and I've said this a number of times, so people who watch me are probably getting tired of me saying this, but, Bitcoin was supposed to be a currency, right? Decentralized currency.
Yeah.
That you could use to buy things with, and you wouldn't be tied to governments or regulations. And now, Bitcoin is no longer that. Yeah, you can go buy a Tesla with the Bitcoin, right? But honestly, Stephen, if you had the chance to buy, a Model X, right? Tesla Model X, you could give 1 Bitcoin to Tesla for that Model X. Would you do it? Would you do it? Knowing that when you drive that car off the lot, it's going to start decreasing in value.
Yeah, I know. I figured
What's Bitcoin going to do?
Yep.
Bitcoin's going to go up to 100,000. Your Model X isn't going to be worth 100,000.
Right. I don't think any. I think very few people are going to actually be following through with a Bitcoin checkout. Yeah.
So Dogecoin is going to reach a price, and with cryptocurrencies continuing to be accepted by retailers more and more, and whether Amazon ever gets there or not, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think with Visa and MasterCard getting into the crypto game, I think it's only a matter of time before, the big retailers like Amazon follow suit. But the problem Amazon has is the transaction time, right? I mean, Amazon wants to do fast transactions, and Bitcoin is not that. Right? You can't wait, 10 minutes for a transaction to be verified. When someone spends something with Bitcoin, and Amazon, particularly on their high volume days, like Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yes.
Prime Day. They can't be waiting around for cryptocurrency transactions to be verified. So that's Amazon's problem, because they're so big. But Visa and MasterCard, and they do thousands of transactions per second, right? And so if they can do that with cryptocurrency, and how they do that, I don't know, but they say they're getting into the crypto game. Then again, it's not going to be the Bitcoin. It takes too long.
Right.
That's where Dogecoin is going to shine.
I agree.
Dogecoin is a fast transaction time, faster than Litecoin.
Yes.
So, and so the quote that I made was, and I don't know if you heard this, Stephen, but somebody else tweeted it. I didn't tweet it, but someone else took my quote and said that Dogecoin can become what Bitcoin supposed to be, something like that.
I think that's a pretty fair sentiment, honestly. It sounds a bit much, but I just think the way it's tailored, and like you said, how many people when it comes down, and this is something I've said many times, when it comes down to it, how many people are actually going to use Bitcoin in a retail space? You'd have to be. No one knowing the market value trajectory of Bitcoin and how far it's come in such a short amount of time, and how far it probably become 1 year from tonight, is going to use Bitcoin. You'd have to be out of your mind to use Bitcoin to purchase in a retail space.
Yeah.
Who's going to do that? And you're absolutely right. Dogecoin, the way it's structured, and that's a lot of the people that don't understand why. How come there's not a harder cap? How come there's not a hard cap? The way it's laid out is, and the way it's structured, Dogecoin is meant to be an everyday crypto for small and large transactions for a lot of people, right? And so that needs to happen, and there's gonna come that window. You're absolutely right, where that space, that huge void, is going to need to be filled pretty quickly, and it's not going to be by Bitcoin. And Dogecoin is always on the short list. Something I pointed out on my show last night, which is really cool, and I think this is in large credit to the community. Whenever you ever notice, like when companies are ready to expand beyond Bitcoin with their transaction options, they always add like 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 on after that. And almost every time Dogecoin's on that short list. almost every time. So I think potentially the future could be so bright. We got to wear shades with this one, man. I mean, it may take a while. And my 1 year, by end of year rather, prediction on Dogecoin's pretty close to yours. I'm a bit more optimistic. I put it at around 50 cents, but I think we're generally on the same page there as well.
And I think eventually, this Dogecoin to $1 thing, so many people have been talking about it. I think it'll happen, in a couple of years. And eventually Dogecoin is going to level out, and it's going to be a currency, and it's not going to continue to rise. But that's not today. That's in the future.
Right.
As it's more accepted as currency, it's going to trade like currency, more like currency trades. But we're not there yet, and there's still a great future now for investors. I think we're still early. I mean, cryptocurrency is still generally pretty early too, overall.
Yes, agree.
So yeah, Dogecoin to $1. Yeah, I think enough people talk about it, enough people think about it, but is it going to happen this year? Probably not. But as a currency, as it's accepted, I mean, as soon as Elon Musk says that Tesla is going to be accepting Dogecoin, if they do a similar thing like they did with Bitcoin, where the Tesla Corporation buys a whole heck of a lot of Dogecoins, right?
Oh my gosh.
So that they don't have to use this third party, but you can just use from your wallet, you can just give them however many thousands of Dogecoin you need to give them to buy a Tesla car. I see that happening. I really see that happening.
Yeah. And this is you're touching on something right now. These are the kind of things, and my viewers know, these are the kind of things I hammer in them all the time, because I think I'm sure you noticed, and it's human nature, right? Where the last few months since Doge, pretty much, I actually called this even back on when I was on Crypto Show TV. I said, you guys get ready, and don't be discouraged, but get ready, because I think Dogecoin for the next maybe even 6 months is just going to ping pong back and forth between 4.5 and 6.2. And I said, it's just a part of the process. Don't freak out, right? And certain amount of people freaked out. I thought, me as being someone who fully supports Doge and is very bullish on Doge, and I'm sure you and I could go on forever, the various reasons why we love Doge and the movement and the intentions behind it and stuff. But what I didn't realize back then, UPSHOD, was my greatest challenge having a show wasn't keeping people from freaking out about the lack of market value. It was keeping people interested. So people got bored, right? A certain segment of people that were really interested in Doge got bored. They started getting more distracted with other coins and stuff. And then I was like, well, hold the phone here, you guys. We're in 19th place out of how many cryptocurrencies are there? 6,500? 6,500 last time I checked. I said, so if someone told you were in 19th place out of 6,500, how is that losing, number one? I said, number two, we know it's coming to Coinbase. We know that the wallets are coming to Robinhood, where a lot of Robinhood or a lot of Dogecoin investors are. We pretty much know that eventually there's going to be Doge integration with Tesla. And it looks like for kicks, Elon's going to put a physical Dogecoin on the moon. You know what I mean? These are things that are in our future. Do you know how many coins what they would do to have half of that come down in their immediate future, or even projected for almost sure things in their future? You know what I mean? We are so well positioned. There's so many reasons to be excited. I think you'd be stupid to sell your Doge right now. I still think looking at buy-in point of 6.5 cents right now, in hindsight, is going to be a real deal in a couple years. Not financial advice, but what are your thoughts?
Agreed. Absolutely. Same sentiment.
Right on. Guys, you're listening to me, Steven Steele, and I've got an awesome special guest. This has been so cool. UPSHOD has been kind enough to come on my small little channel that's going for about 2 weeks. If you haven't hit the like button, please feel free to do so. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you a part of the little community I'm building here. It's we've been growing a little bit each and every day, which is cool. If you feel compelled to ask a question or leave or comment through Super Chat, you can do so at the top of the chat. UPSHOD, what kind of...
I did download the Voyager app. I have the Voyager app on my phone here.
Yeah?
Someone's asking about Voyager.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't funded it. Because I'm planning to do this video about the different exchanges where you can buy Dogecoin. And so I started applying to all these different exchanges and apps and things. And maybe this is too big of a mountain for me to actually climb and get it and get it all figured out to make a coherent video about it. So I do have Voyager. I know some people are on some sort of waiting list in order to get approved. Same problem with Binance US and others. It just takes a while. But I haven't put any money on it yet, and I haven't bought anything with it yet. So I can't answer your question about Voyager. Whoever was asking, I saw. Yeah,
I saw it pop up. I think a couple times to you about that. I made a video about why I'm bullish on Voyager and VGX, and my reasoning anyway is basically that Voyager is expanding so rapidly now. It's more downloaded in America than both Robinhood and Coinbase.
Really?
Yeah, it's surpassed both of those platforms in volume of download. And then also they have all these new initiatives they're about to launch. Even more attractive interest rates than the ones that already are. They're coming out with the debit card. They're coming out with the credit card. There's just all these initiatives coming out, and then also they're getting ready to expand to most of Europe and Canada by the end of the year. They're going to be in both of those continents, and then after that in Asia. So I just feel like it's just a matter of time before VGX finally kicks into gear, consequential to Voyager's success. I guess that's my kind of reasoning with that. So, UPSHOD, what kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what's your background outside of crypto? Like, what kind of guy is UPSHOD? You know, like, what kind of tunes do you like? Like, are you a fisherman? Or are you more like, I don't know. Tell something maybe your audience doesn't already necessarily know about UPSHOD.
Well, I get a lot of questions about the name because I like to keep my life more anonymous. Because in the YouTube space and cryptocurrency now as well, I think it's good to have a little privacy. That
yes.
I can.
Yes.
So
I understand. I understand.
So that's why I've got the name, and and a lot of people ask where the name came from, because I used to buy and sell domain names and do website development as sort of a side gig. And so what I would do is I would research and look for good domain names that I could resell, and I was up to 200 or 300 names. And UPSHOD was one of those names that I had bought a couple of years ago that I sort of had in my portfolio of names. Because in the domain name business, it's all about, name recognition and having something that is unique and different.
Yes.
So then when I was going to start my YouTube channel, it's like, well, I'm not just going to use my real name, so I got to come up with something, right? And I just went through my domain name list, and it was like, there it is, it's UPSHOD. So I already had it. I already had the Gmail account, because that's always a good thing too, right? If you can get your email account to be the same name as your brand, that's always good. The only thing I couldn't get was Twitter. Somebody had started, at UPSHOD like six or
really?
8 years ago.
Oh, bummer.
And had like one or two tweets and then just abandoned it. And I can't get it. So I can't be add Upshot on Twitter because somebody already had it. So
that's
so that was
frustrating.
disappointing. But that's the way it goes. Music, I've been into alternative music for years. I was a big 1980s fan when I was in college. And so the late 80s, it was all like Smith, Depeche Mode, New Order, that kind of stuff. And I still listen to that stuff today. And some people think
that's so funny because
still listening to 80s music, but the alternative 80s stuff still sounds good today, I think.
Me too. What's that's funny. It's funny hearing you talk because that's a lot of the stuff that I really resonated with and came up on too. My first real concert was as a young boy was Depeche Mode with Nitzer Ebb opening up, and it was shortly thereafter that I got a platinum blonde twin fin mohawk. To my parents' absolute horror, and I think I saw it on one of them. I know I saw it on one of the members of Depeche Mode. I think it was what's his name? Christian, the drummer.
I know they're all German, but I don't know their names.
Christian Eigner, the drummer. Yeah. So there's that. Give me a couple of your favorite Depeche Mode songs.
Enjoy the Silence.
Yes.
Number one.
Yeah, hard to beat that, man. It really is. I like that whole album. I really wore it out. Violator, and actually, I met one of my first girlfriends indirectly through the Smiths Upshot. I asked for a Smiths like kind of like discography, because back then it was CDs, yeah. So I asked for that for Christmas, and my mom went to the local record shop and had written it down. And there's a girl working at the record shop and said, "My son wants this." And she's like, "Oh, your son must be pretty cool," or whatever. And my mom's like, "Oh, okay." And then then she was like, "What school does he go to?" And she told him what high school I went to, and then. It's kind of funny because on Christmas, my mom said, "Yeah, she's very pretty. She's very nice. I would go in and talk to her," and I did. And we ended up dating for like a while. Yeah, so it was pretty funny.
I think one of the most disappointing nights in my college career. I went to college, University of Miami, and a bunch of us had tickets for the Smiths concert. This was probably 1987 or 86.
Yeah.
And it was canceled.
No.
Morrissey had to cancel the concert. I don't remember why now.
He's always been canceling shows since forever.
And we went back to the studio. Of course, everyone's dressed in black, right? Because that was the thing, right? Everybody's in black.
I did too.
And we were actually hanging out in the courtyard, and everyone was just bummed, just completely bummed.
Yeah,
because we were looking forward to this Smiths concert, so I never got to see the Smiths.
Oh man,
one time they were
tragic.
In Miami. Concert canceled.
as if a group of Smiths fans needed to be more depressed.
Yeah, really.
Oh, that's wild, man. I remember being really young, like around 15 years old. I also grew up like a skater, kind of like skater punk, and then my friend that I spent the summer with skating with, he took me to this nightclub that had like all ages nights, and it was like alternative music night once a week. And I remember first going in there as like just like a 15 or 16-year-old kid, and it was like the first time I saw goths and everyone wearing black and dancing to weird music, and I was just like, if you can rewind the first time you see stuff like that in your life, it's really kind of like a landmark moment when the first time you're exposed to stuff like that, you know. But
seeing New Order live was awesome back in the late 80s.
You know,
they were my band.
They
were
are.
great.
They still. I mean, it's particularly both Depeche Mode and New Order. I think really stand the test of time between songwriting and production and everything else. I mean, New Order is just. I mean, I loved Joy Division, but New Order just really next leveled it. And the songs are so. They just sound timelessly cool at all times. You know.
Yeah, and they could get you up dancing, but yet you're still kind of in this alternative,
Right.
kind of wearing black mode, but yet dancing and having a good time. So they figured it out, and they hit it right. Yeah.
They totally figured it out. They knew that was. They're so calculated, but so good. Someone's asking you, what's your favorite Stone Temple Pilots song, if you have one?
Don't have one.
Okay.
I think I've got. Let me see on my phone here. I think I got something on Stone Temple Pilots. Let me look under artists here. I know I got it.
Oh, I'm gonna Google one too, because I'm not the biggest fan, but there is one song by them that I really liked that was in their later career.
All I have is Plush. Oh, Plush is the winner there. Decentralized.
That's gonna take me too long to find it. There is one I really liked.
How about that for obscurity, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. I think another super chat just came through. Mr. Chad for $4.20. His super chat message is, I farted and it smells like Safe Moon. Thank you so much, Mr. Chad, for right when we just we're trying to have this diplomatic conversation about that, but
Awesome.
Oh, you guys are funny.
There was a comment somebody just had a little bit ago about the Elon Musk little X wallet, and how I put the spreadsheet together, and I'd worked out how the different payments that Elon had made adding to this wallet, where the last purchase that he made was for 420,000 Dogecoin. It was actually in some change, but that got him to an average of 6.9 cents.
Wow.
420 and 69.
I know. All the super chats have been either $4.20 or $6.90 tonight.
I know. And it's just like only Elon would do that.
I know.
It would just be like, I mean, the guy is on a different level, and he gets it. I mean, he gets the jokes, he gets the memes. It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we had fun with that.
That's awesome. Dude, Steve, do you invest in skateboards? I love buying boards and reselling them. No, I haven't skated in quite some time. I do a little longboarding, but that's it, because I got a really bad knee. Club Berlin in Chicago in the 90s was great. I used to actually DJ at Club Berlin. I'm probably revealing a lot too much information about myself, but I used to DJ at Club Berlin all the way up until about 8 or 9 years ago. And it is a fun little club. It kind of looks like the one of the lost sets off of Pee-wee's Playhouse. So I don't know if there's anything else we could cover or talk about. Chat, do you guys have any questions for our special guest, UPSHOD? Feel free. I know that. So what is your I know there's been some pretty solid projections about Bitcoin going to 100,000 by the end of the year. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I see it getting there, and maybe even more. Again, institutions are accepting Bitcoin, and
right.
Bitcoin is now like the de facto, cryptocurrency, and you're getting you're getting the JP Morgans and and the big banks that have very wealthy clients beginning to set them up with cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, into their portfolios, which is an acceptance by these major banks that you probably wouldn't have thought would ever be taking that step. So that's huge, because it takes that store value of Bitcoin and start making it even more exclusive. I mean, you're talking about clients, with $20 million or more invested,
Right.
that are now being told essentially by the institution, you need to be in Bitcoin. So
Right.
they're going to buy Bitcoin for them, right? They're not going to be buying these altcoins. They're going to be buying Bitcoin.
Right.
And then on top of that, you've got this, decreasing supply, right, of coins, and it's just a perfect storm for the price to take another rise like it did in fall of 2020. That could happen again in summer or fall of 21, where it just all of a sudden just starts rising, and it's going to go 10, 20, 30,000, in a matter of a month or so, just like it did last fall. Could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and that's some of the reason why I'm constantly cheering on Bitcoin, because that's only going to have direct positive effects on Doge. Scott,
and across cryptocurrency altogether, because you're going to have the Ethereums and the Litecoins and all those also going up as Bitcoin's going up. And the other thing that's interesting is, there has been some chatter about actually cryptocurrencies being at risk because individual countries will make their own digital currencies. Like China's making their digital coin, and now you get, Janet Yellen saying, something about the United States starting to look into it. Probably should have started that a long time ago, but we were in a different administration than now, so it kind of makes sense now that would start to be looked at. But I think the United States point of view would be different than China's, obviously. But if you've got these major institutions like the JP Morgans that are having cryptocurrencies with their wealthy clients, the banks hold a lot of influence in this country. And so I don't see them saying, okay, we're going to get rid of cryptocurrencies now because the United States is going to have a digital currency and we should all support that. I don't see that happening now. That was something that was talked about, certainly, that, digital currencies, if countries are having digital currencies and that's what is going to be used as currencies and not cryptos, and it's going to pull, the whole crypto market could go crashing down. I don't see that happening.
I do not either. Speaking of Janet Yellen, what do you think of, because it's definitely some mixed messages from there, because one day she's talking about starting to set up shop for a government version of digital currency, and then the next day she's bashing Bitcoin and all of cryptocurrency. What's with that?
Well, I think those two are hand in hand, and I think personally that's probably what, now that the position that she's in, I think in her past she was actually more pro crypto, but now that she's in the government, I think she's changed her tune. And I think the banks will just hold too much influence and would never let that happen.
Someone in chat was
worldwide, and it's being accepted worldwide. And I mean, even with domain names, we were trading domain names years ago, paying in Bitcoin.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because there was no easy way to trade domain names internationally. It was really hard. You either had to do these crazy wire transfers. PayPal was not accepted in many countries, and just really, really hard. But yet, cryptocurrency makes international trade so much easier that you just can't do that, even with a even with a government-backed digital currency, you're
Yep.
still going to have all sorts of exchange problems dealing with international transactions. And crypto just makes it all so much easier. The problem the country has is they can't regulate it, right?
Right.
They can't tax it. I mean, they try and do their best as far as taxing capital gains if you sell for a profit, because the exchanges are going to do your W-9 or whatever it is.
Right,
They're going
right.
to send out. You bought it at this, you sold it at that, so you have to pay capital gains tax. World crises and solving all sorts of problems with diseases and things like that, and why he's dipping his toes into this cryptocurrency discussion. I don't get that.
Yes, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, you guys, if the stream froze, just refresh your page and it should be fine. It should be back fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's okay.
So, UPSHOD, what do you, what currency was I going to ask you about specifically? I had a couple. Oh yeah, Ethereum. So I got kind of like, I've been a holder of Ethereum, and I made a mistake, and I took half of my Ethereum investments out and I dispersed it among a few other coins. I did that when they recently botched the rollout of the 2.0 version. And so for me, when I saw that, I saw that as a signal that Ethereum was going to be pretty vulnerable to other coins with that are doing pretty much providing the same utility but with much lower gas fees. And I still think that's still going to play a role, but it's not nearly as significant of a role, I don't think, as I thought it was going to be a couple weeks ago. Because then soon after I sold off half my Ethereum, Visa just put it in stone and announced that they're committed to Ethereum blockchain tech for the long haul, So, yeah. So what I kind of explained, because people come to me asking me about how Ethereum, a lot of people, there's a fair amount of people within crypto that seem to think Ethereum's not going to last because all these other new coins coming up they do the same thing but better with lower gas fees. But the way I see it is, it doesn't matter. Sometimes the better coin doesn't matter as far as its functionality, because Ethereum's been around a long time and it's already made all of those connections with various captains of industry that I think it's pretty well solidified. So what are your thoughts on that and the future of Ethereum?
Well, I think that there are so many more use cases being made for cryptocurrency and so much more blockchain technology that's needed in the future, that there can be a Cardano and a VeChain and others that can all coexist. And concentrate on different use cases. Certainly the NFTs, when they took off, all on Ethereum, but now you can actually do them on some other chains. And I think that's why SafeMoon kind of threw that out there. We'll do NFTs too. Because now whether NFTs are a fad or not, and that was just kind of like a quick 1 month hype thing, and everyone's going to be looking at NFTs like fidget spinners in a month. It's like, what happened to that? I don't know. We'll see going forward, but right now it's kind of crazy what's going on, and most of that is on Ethereum. So I don't know what's happening with Optimism, and it's delayed to the summer, and 2.0 and what all that. Ethereum is Ethereum, and it's going to continue to hold value, and it could be 6,000 by the end of the year, almost triple in value this year. A lot of people are saying that. I own Ethereum. Was one of the first that I bought with Bitcoin, and I bought it probably 900 or something, and I sold one Ethereum for 2050 or so, or 2080, and that's what I put into SafeMoon.
Okay.
One Ethereum. but I made a good profit on what I had bought it from. So I was like, okay, I'm happy with that.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And people thought, oh, you sent Ethereum to Whitebit to buy SafeMoon. Are you crazy? And I'm just like, oh, it's just like, it's part of my overall portfolio, and it's really just a small percentage. It's like, and I almost doubled, just in that one Ethereum. So all my Ethereum, it's just one.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I did.
I agree with you, and I think it just makes life more fun when you just reserve that small part of your portfolio just on just those big gamble coins, but with really high profit margin possibilities. It's fun just to have it in there just in case. I mean, who knows? So, it just, I don't know, just makes life a little more fun. If UPSHOD, if you had to give, if someone asked you, to pick out for them, let's say they came to you, just obviously all hypothetical guys. Let's say they came to you with $5,000 and they said $5,000 and they said, can you pick 3 coins for me that are the safest coins? I'm not necessarily looking for the biggest, fastest returns, but the safest investments. And I know safe under crypto is kind of silly to say, but you know what I mean. Within the crypto sphere, well, what 3 coins would you probably tell them to disperse that money in among?
Well, the first you'd have to buy a little Bitcoin.
For sure.
Just have a little Bitcoin.
For sure.
And then I would say your second would be some Ethereum for the blockchain, and your third would be Doge for the currency. Those are the 3 biggest use cases. Those would probably be your safest investments, would be the store value in Bitcoin, the blockchain smart contracts for Ethereum, and then your currency is Doge. And then you're not duplicating use cases.
Right.
And you're spread amongst those 3. That's what my recommendation would be. And that's probably boring for a lot of people.
Yep.
But see, Jimmy Doge is saying, yeah, BTC, ETH, and Doge. Yep. That would be for a new investor who's just starting. You can find out about other altcoins once you get into cryptocurrency, and then you can pick and choose. But I say if you're starting out and this is your first investment, you can't go wrong with those 3.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, right on.
I said it before you typed it, Jimmy, so.
That's funny because those are the exact same 3 answers I would give to. I think that's very sound advice. And even still, like, anytime I got an extra $25-50, I'll pile it in my BTC because it's the closest thing you're gonna get to a sure shot returns. I mean, there's no absolute certainties obviously in the market, but BTC is the closest thing you're gonna get to that, guys. So I think that's really, really good. And I honestly feel like a lot of people have that question internally that are new to trading and just really don't know what to do. So I think that's great advice, man.
Yeah, and then once you start, and then once you have those, and you get onto Discord and YouTube, and you start hearing about these others, you do a little research, and you're like, oh, that sounds interesting. Let me look into that. What's this Cardano stuff people are talking about? What's this VeChain thing people are talking about? And you start looking at what their use cases are, and you're like, well, that sounds pretty cool. So next paycheck, maybe I'll put a little money into that. And that's where you start broadening out your crypto portfolio. And I'll say that, coming from stocks, I find crypto a lot more satisfying now as investing as stocks. Now I still have a bunch of stocks, and I've got my retirement funds and, the Vanguard, total stock market index, which includes, Apple and Amazon and Google and all those. So that's all covered. But, you just don't get a lot of joy out of that.
Right.
It's just
Right.
like, to me, it's like, this is just so much more interesting, the whole crypto sphere and space of what's happening, and especially looking at the future, that I'm not buying any more new stocks. I'm buying cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, same. I have to say personally, I've had more success in with my crypto portfolio than my stock portfolio. My stock portfolios. I don't think I'm very good at stocks, but I do play pretty conservatively too, because I know I'm not brilliant with stocks. I just play things very conservatively over there. But my crypto portfolio has been more successful than my stock portfolio over the last few years. What are your thoughts on? I would think that I own a couple of Tesla stocks, and I think that's almost like, I guess I would put it as kind of an analogy to a stock, to kind of what it's kind of like a Bitcoin to a stock, don't you think? It seems like a pretty safe long-term investment, don't you think, or no?
There are better investments right now. Tesla's overvalued, I think.
Okay.
So I missed out on the big run.
Yep.
Up leading to the stock split in August. But I did swing trade it right before the stock split.
Yeah.
And I probably made $1,000 in a couple days on that swing trade.
Nice one.
And then after the split, and it dropped down to post-split 350, and that's where I bought 5 shares, and then I sold them at like 720, so I doubled that, and that was over about 4 months, I think. And then I rebought as it dipped back down. I forget what my entry price was. I can look right here. But I've got 5 shares now of Tesla stock back in my portfolio. But I didn't buy it today. I bought it at, let me see what it says here, $5.95. I bought it at $5.95, and it's
Yep.
wherever it is now. It's at $6.77.
Yep.
So there's a lot of articles on Tesla and its overvaluation right now. But long term, it's probably going to go up, but there's going to be a lot of other stocks, I think, that are going to be doing better in the short term than Tesla. So if you're looking at for a short term stock investment, Tesla right now, I don't think is the place you want to be investing, especially, up near $700.
Yeah, I would definitely defer to UPSHOD's take on that one over mine. Yeah. See if someone else was asking you something. UPSHOD, what are your thoughts on options? They remind me of leverage trading in crypto.
I never got into options. I think options were interesting with the whole thing that was happening.
Yeah.
So if you were early in on the knowledge that the SPAC was forming,
Yep.
and they had a partnership with a great company going forward. I mean, last fall the SPACs with the electric vehicle companies was the big thing. That's how Fisker rolled out, and Lucid, XL Fleet, although XL Fleet has tanked since then. But I was in on XL Fleet, and it's in one of my early videos, because I did a swing trade when the SPAC converted and made some good money on that XL Fleet thing. There were a lot of people on StockTwits who talk about the options, and especially with the SPACs, and a lot of people made a lot of money doing that. But I didn't understand enough of it, and really didn't spend time figuring out the option trading bit, so I've never done it. And I've never traded on margin either. Just something I've something I've never done. I just did my swing trading just on the price. That was enough for me to keep up with, to be honest.
Gotcha. And why are you bullish on VeChain?
VeChain for its future use. Again, I think that particularly the VeThor token with its reduction in gas fees.
Yep.
The partner, the VeThor token and the way it's going to be used. I think that VeChain VeThor piece is going to grow and continually see wider use over time. If someone asked me what my fourth coin is to invest in, it would be VeChain.
And what is one of your? Do you do any? Do you stream any television shows? Is there any particular series that you like or anything?
Stranger Things.
Yes. Fantastic
That's
show.
my number one.
Yeah,
Partially because it's the 80s, and just like that whole 80s thing is fun to see. And I think it's just a cool storyline. And can't wait for the new season.
Yeah, totally. And I love the music too. It's just kind of haunting in a really cool way. And I think they really did extrapolate on the 80s in a really, really fun, interesting way. I think I've been binge watching, oh gosh, what's it called? Oh yeah, Westworld. And I had never gotten around to that show until recently. It's about 3 seasons, and it's quasi sci-fi, basically about sophisticated android humans that are hard to differentiate, and them being kind of in a Wild West kind of environment, and it's kind of like a playground of androids for very wealthy people to vacation there, and kind of do whatever they want. It's very interesting. Someone else was asking you, UPSHOD, what's your favorite 80s movie? Or one of your favorites, even just one of your favorites.
Well, probably at the time, Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
When that came out, being sort of that similar age, that really that was good. And then I'd have to go with science fiction, Harrison Ford,
Blade Runner.
Yes. So Blade Runner, looking back, would be number one.
I'm not just saying
Still plays great today. Yeah, Breakfast Club, classic of its time, but Blade Runner today still can just move you. It's just such a great story.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not saying this just to placate you, but we've talked about 80s movies on this show before, and my favorite film of all time is the first Blade Runner. So, yeah. I just think it's an absolute masterpiece, from the music to the cinematography and the storyline and the casting. It's all there.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's my favorite.
We're on the same wavelength there, Steven.
Yeah, it's weird, man, between the music and the films and everything else. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I just love how Ridley Scott in Blade Runner 2, a lot of it, I realize a lot of what really makes the movie for me is the big, epic, brooding environments where he always does that. He always does these camera shots deliberately where a bunch of light is shining through in really shadowed environments. And it's kind of almost foggy and dusty too. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah. And I feel like my favorite films always have a fair amount of downtime where there's not always a ton of dialogue and a ton of action at all times. A lot of it is a director's ability to build the atmosphere, right? That's just
I like movies that make you think.
Yeah.
and also have very good dialogue and isn't just like in your face action.
Yes.
All the time.
You're not being like Michael Mann to death. It's just yeah, totally. It's actually hard to find science fiction films now where it's not like that, right? Where it's just a barrage of CGI and it's just nonstop. It's like a film can have so much action that it doesn't. The action's not even like a powerful thing anymore. It's just gets rather boring. Yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah, that one of my favorite songs actually is an like a 9 or 10 minute instrumental on there called Blade Runner Blues. It's just like a kind of like an Eno-ish sounding synth thing. Cool, man. Cool. Well, this has been awesome, UPSHOD. I really appreciate you taking all this time out, and this was just fantastic. Would you consider coming back?
I would, and would you consider coming on UPSHOD Live sometime?
In a heartbeat, man. Let's work it out. Just let's follow me. Let's message and let me know whenever's groovy for you, man. I'll be there.
We should do it. This has been fun. Thank you so much, and thanks for the folks in the chat. This has been great.
Yeah.
Great conversation, Stephen.
Totally, man, and likewise. And I'll follow up with you again. And you always have an open door here, man.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, UPSHOD. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right. See ya. You guys, that was UPSHOD. UPSHOD. What a fantastic guy. I mean, I already had a feeling that was going to go really well. Just my impression of the guy, just from watching his videos and his general disposition and his vibe and everything else. I mean, what a great guy. What a phenomenal guy. And just a great guest. I feel like he and I really made a pretty good team. I don't know how you guys thought, but yeah, so that was really cool, you guys. I thought that worked out really well, and I'm looking forward to being on his show sometime in the near future. I'm going to stay on just a little bit longer here, guys, before I shut the stream down, but I will just hang out with you guys a little bit longer here and answer questions, or, we'll just talk about whatever. Yeah, pretty much unanimous about UPSHOD. You guys loved him, and I think he was phenomenal. Just phenomenal, that guy. Yeah, very nice, substantive conversation, and I'm actually still quite surprised at how much he and I have in common as far as our takes on stuff. And there was maybe one point that we slightly disagreed on, but everything else, it was interesting hearing him talk, because it was just like it was like hearing myself talk. Many of the times his takes mirrored my takes and perspectives on things so often there. It was almost spooky, right down to our favorite movie. It was just wild. Yeah, definitely worth listening to this full show if you didn't catch it tomorrow or whenever you have time. And a lot of great information. UPSHOD gave a lot of great information, a lot of very useful, practical information as well. So definitely want to take advantage of that. And if you didn't see most of the stream earlier, you definitely want to check it out at a later time. You guys, this is your man, Stephen Steele. It's 1:12 in the morning where I am. If you are out on the West Coast, you are at 11:12 p.m. And of course, if you are on the East Coast, you're rocking right around bar time at 2:15 in the morning. The DOGE is starting to rise a little bit here, just at 655. Let me take a closer look at the charting here for it. Yeah, some green candles on the horizon, it would be awesome if we could just make it to 7 cents. How cool would it be to get a 7-cent floor within the week? That would make things feel really grand, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it, folks? Decentralized West Coast here, drinking some cognac. Hey, do what you got to do. We all celebrate in different ways. Hump DZ says, real deal, Steven Steele. I love it. And don't worry, guys, I am still working on those t-shirts. How do I feel, Steve? I'm feeling like not very good, if I'm being honest, as far as my physical health goes. But I'm just doing my best to navigate through this chapter in my life. I don't know what else to say. I just got to be honest about that. Thank you for that, Jimmy Doge. Mama Crypto said, love the show. Thanks for having him on the stream. He is a cool person. That blew my mind. Thanks more than I could expected. UPSHOD, bravo. Okay, awesome. Rave reviews for UPSHOD. Absolutely. So who's planned for my next guest? My next guest I have lined up. My next guest is a lovely girl from Berlin, Germany, by the name of Mimi Matina. And she's an indie songwriter, producer, and she's based in Berlin. And she wrote a really cool Doge song. It's called Toss a Doge to Your Witcher. And she rewrote it off of an old classic, and she made a little video of it, and she has it pinned to the top of her profile. And Elon Musk at one point responded to it, saying he really liked it. So obviously we got to talk to her about that. We're going to talk about Dogecoin. We're going to talk to her about music. We're going to talk to her about production. We're going to talk to her about the scene in Berlin and how she found herself in crypto and Doge and all that good stuff. And then I got to badger Crypto Batman because that dude is so long overdue for being on my stream. I'm going to tweet him right now. I'm going to tweet him right now, you guys. I'm just going to say, I just added him. And I'm saying, when you coming on my show? And then I want all of you to like it and comment on it if you can. Because we are overdue. We're just going to give him. We're going to give him some lighthearted business about it. We're going to give him some lighthearted business about it. She's got a great voice. DZ says Legion of Boom. Sweet. Looking forward to it. Fravira says, good job, Stephen. We learned so much. Thank you, Jimmy Doge. Appreciate the well wishes, you guys. Decentralized. Fun stuff. Funny stuff. But I have more guests lined up for sure, guys. I'm working on that. I'm working on Stain Alpha. I think I'm going to have him. And I'd like to get Nick Balls. Yes, that's his real last name. I'd like to get him in here. I think I could arrange that too. And he's like a bodybuilder / super crypto investor, and he's very big on Doge and stuff like that. I think that could be fun. And so yeah. Toss a Doge to your Witcher reminds me of Dogecoin, like John Wick. Yeah, I'd like to get Pythony on here. She's fun. I haven't live streamed with Pythony since I was on the last channel. But yeah, I reached out to her once. I just got to follow up with her again about nailing down a date, but I'm sure she'd be happy to come on. Jason Huffman says, can we go into Doge after dark? Steven, what do you think the fallout will be for Musk or others affected by HSBC ban? People investing in stock whose companies hold Bitcoin. Whew, that's a big topic, Doji dog. What do I think the fallout will be? I think I'm going to hold off giving an answer about that right now because I do have strong feelings about that, but it's like one of those topics I just rather reserve for another show after. It's a topic I plan on getting into after a bunch more research and kind of like a spotlight. So I'm going to refrain from commenting on that until I do that, but look for that in the near future. I'm going to just kind of feature that topic for a good 20-30 minutes. What does it take to become a mod? Ryan, people that are loyal and civil and are big fans of the show and have proven those things over a period of time. I will keep you in mind, Ryan. Right now, I'm not looking for mods because the show is not because I don't think you'd be a good mod, but just because the show is still so small that I have 2 mods right now. So I will definitely need more mods as the show expands in size and audience, though. Elon replied to "It's all risky." Is that true? If so, I will check that out right now. Ooh, nice one. So "It's all risky" just posted a really funny meme that says Dwight from The Office, and it says Bitcoin, and then it has that whatever his crazy Angela, and that right next to him, and Angela has the word Dogecoin over her, and then the next picture is of Dwight saying an expletive and pulling his hand away quickly from her. And then we've got Elon just giving laugh face emojis to that. So Elon's all over the Doge memes, guys. And he liked a Doge meme earlier today as well. So guys, looks like Dogecoin's on the move again. Should I keep going for a little bit or log off, guys? I'm cool with either one. But I'm happy to stay on a little bit, but I'm cool with logging off. But if there's interest in going and keep going into a little bit Doge after dark, we can do that. Either way is cool. Okay, guys. I'm kind of just reading your feedback here. Yeah, so I will stay on for a little bit longer. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. And then I gotta rest, guys. But we'll go for a little while longer. I can't do a super late one tonight, but I will go just a little bit longer. So guys, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please feel free to do so. If for some reason you haven't subscribed to Stephen Steele, what are you doing? Subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you're one of those people, like most of you in here, who have already subscribed, hit that notification bell. That way you'll never miss a live stream, or you'll never miss out when I have time-sensitive announcements, or if you're wondering when I'm going to go on next. Notifications solves all of that, guys. And if you want to shoot a super chat, that's much appreciated. You can do that through the Stream Elements link at the top of the chat. Thank you, Jimmy Doge, for that. And I'm just checking around the Twitter sphere right now, guys, to make sure I didn't miss any breaking crypto news or anything like that. But I don't think I did. I think things seem relatively mellow right now. XRP just keeps pumping, guys. It keeps going, and I don't really own any XRP, sadly. So for those of you who stuck with their XRP and took that gamble through all the legal investigations, good for you. Hats off to you, because it's definitely paying off. Here's a really funny tweet by JRNY Crypto. He said, just creating a new trust wallet, and I swear 3 of the secret passphrase words that were back to back were obtain, firm, stool. Oh my. Guys, I'm going to read you a couple of my favorite Stephen Wright jokes. Stephen Wright is far and away one of my favorite all-time comedians. Here's one. I called the wrong number today. I said, hello, is Joey there? A woman answered and she said, yes, he is. And I said, can I speak to him, please? She said, no. He can't talk right now. He's only 2 months old. I said, all right, I'll wait. Here's another one. I stayed up one night playing poker with tarot cards. I got a full house, and 4 people died. I've been getting into astronomy, so I installed a skylight. The people who live above me are furious. Okay, we'll give you one more. I'm going to get a tattoo over my whole body of me, but taller. Oh, that one gets me. Guys, this is your man, Stephen Steele. Doge is on the move. Doge is pumping for sure. We are at 6.5. The biggest point of resistance that Doge keeps coming up against lately is 6.8. Is the 6.8 margin. If we can get through that 6.8 margin, we are gravy. We are all good. It's just getting through there, guys. That 6.8 margin's a real killer. But so that's what you want to look for. If we get through that 6-8, there's a good chance we can get to 7. Good chance. But so we'll see. Right now, it looks like we're just trying to get to that 6-7, and it's the most movement we've had in the last couple hours. So we'll see how it goes. You guys, if you haven't liked and or commented on this tweet so we can get Crypto Batman on here soon, there is that tweet. I know he's planning on coming on, but it just kind of keeps getting deferred, so I'm just giving him some business. Look at this, guys. Looks like we're on the precipice of a 6-7. That's nice. That's nice. That's real nice, Clark. Doge is on the move once again. Big time. Those numbers are looking nice. My Doge portfolio is looking even nicer. Might we hit 7 cents? It's possible, Mr. Flores. It's possible. I think trading bots watch for tweets too. Yeah. The Elon effect is no joke. So here we are, guys. Yep, a little resistance here at that 6-7, guys. Doji Dog. If there's ever a time Tesla board would swap its Bitcoin for Doge or another crypto, it could be now. I mean, they could have a fiduciary duty to protect the company worth for its investors. Interesting point. Iris thinks Doge is going to go to 10 cents within 2 weeks. I think it's possible. I mean, it seems like a little bit of a stretch seems like a stretch to me, but I definitely think it's possible. UPSHOD and I were just talking about this earlier in the stream. I do think this has all been building around now, and it's finally starting to play out. I think there's been a lot of this build up, and now it's all starting to coalesce. And I don't think it's unreasonable to think that a 10-cent Doge in the relatively near future is going to happen. What is the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen? The best Wi-Fi name I've ever saw was Martha's Goth Taco. Ugh. Yeah, now It's All Risky is communicating with Elon about memes. Hold your Doge. Sounds like someone selling Riskpoon. Well, you know, fair warning, people. If you're gonna buy any Riskpoon, you better go in hard and fast. Ooh. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of resistance right at 6-7, guys. I really don't see it getting past 6-8 right now. It would take a lot. A lot. That's funny. Poor man trading. That's funny. Jimmy says, don't doubt Riskpoon. Some say Chastity Coin and the Codpiece token will hold it back, but they haven't seen those stats bounce. Oh, man. Well, guys, this has been a real treat. But I think I'm gonna log off for the night. I've been going for about 3.5 hours, and I gotta chill and I just gotta rest. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I will be back on the air soon. Don't fret, don't worry. And I really hope you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend. Again, I would like to have a special thanks to our guest tonight, UPSHOD, and I will keep you posted when I will be on his show. Until then, guys, I will see you. I will be kind of lurking on Twitter for a little longer tonight if you need to get at me. But thank you so much, guys, and appreciate you. Take care, and over and out.